Well, good evening, guys, and what are we going to do? Well, we're going to do a quick 3 knives fast first impressions because I have not handled any of these knives really except when I unboxed it and then didn't film it. So, but we're not going to talk about it here. We're going to turn this around, take a look at them from above. But first, you guys turn down the volume because here comes a little bit of music. Three knives we're going to look at. We have the O-Knife Drever, we have the Mini Horizon D, and we have the Vero Engineering Isotope. So let's go ahead and go from my least favorite at first blush to my favorite. So guys, this is the Vero Knives Isotope, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not really a fan of it. Like, I've had it in hand just a little bit, and I find it oddly poorly engineered for the name of the company. Like, I get it. It's like, it's a really cool thing that people are wanting an integral, and this one is, it's serialized, it's numbered, it is a flipper. It does have this aperture that they've put in it, or not aperture, but a fuller. The action, don't get me wrong, the action on it is pretty smooth. If you finger flick it, like reverse flick it, but the thing I'm noticing is like this action is a little soft. Like that flipper there on that corner is a little soft, so it feels like you were kind of just stuck with that. I'm not 100% sure what steel this is, and like I said, this is a first impressions. But this is the Vero Isotope. This is number 287. I'm just, for as much as people have been making this up to be something great, I'm really not that impressed. Pocket clips really square and kind of uncomfortable. In my hand, it kind of digs in. You can see I'm getting like a red spot there where that digs in. And then this is exactly the opposite of what I would want where this lock bar is. So like instead of it being scalloped down here, I'm trying to see if I have an example of it somewhere. Maybe in my pocket. Yeah, you can see here. See how this side is scalloped down and then this side is higher so you can disengage your lock bar. This one's lower and I find it awkward. The other thing, this is really, really sharp right there. Once your lock is engaged, it feels great in hand when it's closed, but you open it up and you're like, good God, what was this? Why would you put a chisel in that part? Like, why would you put that there? It's right in my hand. And then the other thing is, I got big hands. Like, I know that some people are going to be like, oh, well, I have 2 fingers or I got 1 finger. For me, the way I hold it, like it's like I'm trying to get my hand on it. And unless I really change my grip and get it in an awkward grip, this finger is pushing this hand down into it and then it's forcing me down into this. So I really can honestly say I'm not a fan of integrals, so I don't like that. I don't like the shape. I don't like the design. I mean, the blade's okay, but I really don't like much anything about this. And I'm not just trying to like poo-poo on it. I just think for all the hype that's been around these knives that it wouldn't be like this. I haven't had it in and out pocket yet. Let's try it in and out pocket. We'll test that pocket clip tension. I'm wearing track pants. It feels pretty good. It feels like one of those pocket clips that's going to have just about the right amount of tension. I can say that, but they said it's uncomfortable. But I mean, the big one, guys, the big one is that is poorly thought out. Like that's an important spot to have be comfortable, because like this is your finger area. It's got to be comfortable here because that's where your hand's going to be, and that is sharp. I would not have done that. I would have rounded that off. It would have been rounded. I don't know. Like I don't like the idea. Some people are like, oh, well, it's aesthetics. I don't like the idea of giving up comfort in lieu of aesthetics. So there you go, guys. I don't like it at all. Like I was hoping to get it and see it and like it. I'd seen pictures and I didn't think I was going to like it from pictures, but I thought I'd give it a shot, and I am very underwhelmed. So let's go ahead and move on to the next knife. I would expect to like way more than I do. So this is the Mini Horizon D, and as you guys know, I have the original Horizon D. This is a first production run. I don't like this as much as I had hoped. They made some changes between the full size and the mini, which that happens, but some of the things that I didn't like, or that I don't like, or have rectified in this knife that they carried over. You see how I've opened up that sharpening choil area there? Well, they didn't do that on this. This is why I did that on mine. You can see right here where it comes back and it's got this wide spot on the plunge where you've got a thick spot. That choil needed to come out further, and I fixed it on mine. Other thing that I don't like is they got rid of the fuller and replaced it with a swedge. I love the look of a fuller. I know some people don't. I wish that they had kept the full length fuller on that knife, because here's the reason. This knife, you can't do this. This knife, I can reverse flick that off of the fuller. So there's some things that they've done on this. I mean, overall, is it still an attractive knife? Yeah, it really is. The other thing is, it just doesn't, it feels small in my hand. It definitely does not have the same feel as the full size. But I mean, I definitely like it better than I like that Vero we just talked about a few minutes ago. But like I said, they took away some of the things that I love about the aesthetic. Now, your milling is still the same from back to front. Basically, you're looking at something that is almost the same knife. Some minor differences in the lock bar cutout, but you can see milling is the same on both sides. It's an attractive knife. I'm not a fan of the new pocket clip. I like the original pocket clip. So I know that I shouldn't be comparing this to the original one, but if you're going to make a mini version of a knife, I would expect it to stay a little more true. And then something else that they did that I'm not a fan of, I don't think that they scalloped out this lock bar on this one anywhere near as much. It feels a lot more difficult to get in on the lock bar on this one than it did on this one. And it could just be because this one's bigger. But like I said, I'm kind of underwhelmed with this one as well. I don't want to sound negative about this, but I kind of was expecting to like this and the Vero a lot more than I do. Is it still a good knife? Yeah, this is an incredibly good knife. It's done in M390, the same as mine. You're going to have that same edge retention. It feels as though they went a little thinner on the grind behind the edge on this one than they did on the original. So that's a good thing. You know, the original is a little thicker behind the edge. I think it comes in just under 0.3, I believe, or 0.03, I mean. So I don't think it's as thick. I mean, you can't argue the action is amazing. I think that the action on this is actually better than the original, but that just goes with, you know, changes in their methodology and equipment. They probably changed their bearings. I wasn't a fan of that multi-row bearing system that was in plastic on the original. But all in all, really attractive knife. If you like the Horizon D, you probably aren't going to go wrong with the Horizon D Mini, but, you know, I just don't think it's a knife for me. So let's go ahead and move on to the third one, which is the one I actually like. Okay, this last one is definitely a budget knife. I haven't looked up price on any of these. This is the Olight Driver, and I'm surprised that of all three of those knives, this is of the three knives we're looking at, this is the one I like the most. So this is the Driver by Olight. It's done in N690, and I'm gonna tell you right now, it has a unique look. It definitely feels good in hand. It is super comfortable. It's nice and thin, and it's got this kind of scalpel-shaped blade that I typically don't like the whole blade sweeping up like that. But I'm going to tell you, in this knife, it works. Another thing that is out of character for me, I typically don't like any other color scale in like G10 other than black. And this G10, this blue G10, is actually really attractive when you've got the blue hardware, the blue anodized hardware, or blue titanium coated hardware, or however it would be. It is really attractive. The action on this thing is nuts. I think of the three knives that we've looked at, I think this has the best action, and it snaps open to the point where, like, it feels like it tries to come out of your hand. You got to have a grip on it because it's light in the back, heavy in the front, which is something I like. I like a little bit of tip forward weight because it lets you know where that knife is at. This thing, I think, is going to be something that I am going to enjoy having around. The blade profile is attractive. It's thin. It's unique. Like I said, it's done in N690, and it is sharp. There's no real hot spots on this that I've found so far. I haven't done any real cutting with it. I could do with the pocket clip that was a little bit less tall and hot spotty. It kind of pinches a little bit. But this is not something I would think would be a hard use, heavy duty knife. But even with that pocket clip being tall, and where I would be holding it to do any heavy cutting, it's really in an area that, like, it's not going to bother me. If I was just doing some light duty cutting, you know, this would be great. I imagine this is going to be a cardboard screaming beast because it comes down nice and thin, and it's got a good blade profile with some belly. It's got like almost a sheep's foot style to it, but a lot more belly than I would expect on a typical sheep's foot. A lot of sheep's foots are pretty straight. Flipper and thumb stud action on it is great. There is nothing there. I mean, it is really, really glassy smooth. As Jared likes to say, feels like oil on glass. It's not quite drop shut. It's just shy of drop shut. Well, I guess it is drop shut. It didn't feel like it wanted to drop. I had to coax it a little. There we go. I guess it does have a little bit of a guillotine action. But overall, really nice. It has this cutout exactly the way I want it. The last two knives did not. I like having this cutout where I can get into it, and it doesn't, you know, that winds up in the pinch of the finger, and then your finger kind of rolls around. Nice little choil area. Overall, it's a really attractive knife, and I'm kind of surprised. I like the blue G10. I typically don't. I think on this knife, it looks really good. It's attractive. So there you go. First impressions on 3 knives real quick. This last one was the Drever. I saved the one I liked the most for last, and I'm kind of surprised how that ended up. So, guys, not to make this take any longer, this is a good knife. Let's turn this around and do some final thoughts. There you go, guys. There was 3 knives fast. I think out of all of those knives, even though I own the full-sized Reate Horizon D, I think that this O knife, the Drever, is the one that I like the most out of that batch of 4. It's the most comfortable of them. That Vero is definitely not comfortable in my hand at first blush, but we'll see how that goes. Guys, that's it on this one. If you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like them, give them a thumbs down, but please try to tell me why. I can't change the content if you don't tell me what you don't like. If you want to support the channel, it's as simple as like, share, subscribe, drop a comment, and, you know, hit the bell icon so you get notified of all the content I put up. I put up at least 2 videos a day, or a video and a live feed. So basically you're getting 2 videos a day. Other ways you can support the channel if you want to are down in the description below. I have financial ways you can do it. I have a membership down below that gets you a bunch of benefits based on tier. Pick a tier that fits what you want to get out of your membership. But everyone gets $5 off my sharpening service. Everyone has access to the Gilded server, but only the premium tier guys have access to the sharpening tutorial series I've been building over the last couple of years. Other ways you can do it, I have affiliate links down below where there's a lot of the stuff that you will see me use as far as sharpening stones, recommended EDC, tools, things like that. You can find those down below. And they don't charge you anything extra. I just get a little bit of it at checkout. And the last way, I have a merchandise store at Ember Shirt Co. Anything you purchase at Ember Shirt Co., I can get you 10% off with the coupon code CrazySharp, capital C, capital S, CrazySharp, all one word. And if you purchase my merchandise and send me pictures of you wearing it, I will put it in a video. Guys, I love y'all. Keep it clean in the comment section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And I will see you in the next video.